Alright, what is up YouTube? So this is a completely different type of video, um, but I am entering about 6 months of service time, and we're going underway soon, so I kind of wanted to give my tips and advice for, not specifically the Coast Guard, military in general, but in my case, it's the Coast Guard. So I have a list of about 11 habits or 11 things that you can do to kind of, ease your experience. So I'm just gonna start off hot. The first few of these are gonna be prior to going to boot camp, and then the rest are all gonna be like out in the field. So starting off, I have quit vices. So quitting your vices before boot camp. So what does that mean? That means nicotine. If you quit nicotine, not the day of, but prior, you're gonna from what I've heard, honestly, is you don't really feel that like withdrawal, because boot camp in itself is completely different to your body. But definitely try not to be an alcoholic the day prior. Obviously, if you're smoking weed, you can't do that. You have to quit. You have to find a way to stop. So quitting vices, because in boot camp, obviously, you're not going to have any of those. Once you get back out, then sure, if you want to do nicotine, whatever. So that's the first tip. Second tip I have is going to be stay fit. In my case, that includes weightlifting and cardio. Some people's cases that could mean calisthenics, and honestly, if you do calisthenics going into boot camp, you're going to be a lot better off, because that's all boot camp is. There's no weightlifting. Like twice in boot camp, I got to weightlift, and it wasn't bench; it was just like machine press. So definitely stay fit. You're gonna want to have good cardio going in, because you might not be able to run that often to pass the PT test to join the service in the first place. So you want to make sure that you can go ahead and pass those standards before you even hit boot camp. Number three is know your why. They're gonna say that a lot in boot camp. They're gonna say, "Why are you here?" Know your why. So for me personally, your why changes throughout. But until graduation of boot camp, my why was to be up on the wall with the rest of my family, to have my service picture up on the wall with the rest of my family, and I got that. And now my why has kind of changed. My why has become, like, post boot camp and in service, my why has become financial freedom. I use the military as a backup, but I make my own stuff on the side to where I'm generating more income. That is my current why. I have, so now we're like post boot camp, let's say. Actually out in the field. 4, I have optimize your rack. So what you sleep on, you don't have to sleep on the mattress they give you. Now, I'm not saying buy a new mattress, I'm saying buy a topper. Buy a mattress foam topper. Get new pillows, get your own blanket, get your own fan, customize it, make it comfortable. Because me personally, I sleep there every night. Once you hit E4, you don't have to, but as a seaman or below, you sleep on the ship. So definitely try to make it comfortable. It is your home. That's your home. That is the space that you are given. 5, I have security. Make sure you get security quality. So personally, I'm a CS, so I don't do rounds. Although I did just get advanced qualification for damage controlman last week. However, all my friends, they're seamen. So they all had to get basic, advanced. So I got those two, but they also had to get WPQS, like watch. They had to get watch qualified. And what that does is that takes you off of morning threes. So you have, let's say you have Friday, Saturday off, but Sunday you have to be on the boat for 24 hours. And you're standing like 4 to 8s, or 8 to 4s, or no, 8 to 12s. So it switches you from every 1 in 3 days you have to be back on the boat to 1 in 4 days. So now you just got an extra day off. On top of that, if you get advanced qualified and you put in your letter, and then you don't have to do watch until whoever your DC is signs that letter off and gives it to captain. So then you have a down period time. So my buddies, we all got qualified last week, but the DC hasn't wrote in that letter. So they're no longer doing break-in rounds, and they're waiting to be able to do rounds on their own or teach somebody else how to do the rounds. So in the meantime, they don't have security. They've been 5 days without security, meaning they're like me, just I have longer hours. They just they don't have to stay on the ship, they're not ship bound. Even though we all live on the ship, they're not ship bound, So definitely aim for getting qualified. Next, I have play the game at all times. So what does that mean? So in my case, it's kind of like what I was just talking about, right? You get qualified and then you kind of play the game. You leave. In my case, that would mean that my schedule is Monday through Friday, either breakfast and lunch or lunch and dinner. So either I can wake up at 4 a.m. and work until 2 p.m. around about then. It's around 2 p.m. when I get off. Or I could work from 10 a.m. until about 6, 7. Genuinely, like 6, 7. So what do I mean by play the game? That means if I've done everything for the night that I'm going to do, if I've worked out, if I've ran, if I've showered, and it's like 10 o'clock, well, I might as well go to bed and wake up early the next day. Or if I have something to do later on in the day, then I might as well go to bed and wake up early the next day. Or if I need to go shopping, well, then I might as well go to bed and wake up early the next day. But if I stay out the night before doing whatever, or if I want to check on my stocks, then, or if I'm super tired, then I can play the game, right? I can sleep in until 10 o'clock and then go to work. And then, work, maybe go watch a movie after. But usually if I work the night shift, I'm pretty tired. So that's part of the game, right? Another part of the game would be like adapting to the meta, right? So picking up whatever you need before you go underway, meeting new people, try to play the system to your liking, whatever benefits you. 7, I have find good hobbies. So I live in Key West. Key West is a drinking town specifically. That's all we have is Duval Street. We have a lot of good food too. I'll give them that. And then we got beaches. Beaches are like alright, but I can leave the island. And we can go find a lot other stuff. Like mini golf. We can find places on the island. So here I'm saying like try to stay away from the drinking, especially if you're underage. So find good hobbies. That can mean like fishing. Fishing is very popular down there. Scuba diving is very popular down there. Um, beach I go to all the time. So just try to find good hobbies and stay away from the stuff that might get you in trouble. 8, I've talked to new people. You're living on a ship, or me personally, I live on a ship. Constantly, we're getting new people in, right? You want to meet these people, see what they have to offer. You want to get to know them, right? Also, going out, just talk to new people. Be like, you guys start up any conversation. I've met so many other CSs, not in the Coast Guard, but like in civilian life. They're cooks. I've met them. Or I've even met some people that did, retired in the Army as a CS and then started up their own business, and amazing connections. So, very good. Just meet new people about it. 9, I have don't hold grudges. So that's one I'm not very good at. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of suck at holding grudges. But if somebody does wrong to you, just try to talk to them about it, and then eventually y'all will become like buddy. So I have an instance like this on my boat. I had a first class that was just not the biggest fan of me because I was a vested CS. In like the living situation, I was in his berthing, not his rack specifically, in his berthing, because I didn't have a place to live, and that's where they told us to live. But he didn't like that. So I kind of woke up to some negative comments, and I just figured, I was like, man, he just doesn't like me, right? But like, since then, I've been able to like talk to him, and like, we've grown a lot better. Most definitely. Number 10, I have lock up everything. Any little thing. Because I'm still getting stuff stolen till like this week, like 2 days ago. It's like, anything can get stolen. Anything can get taken. Like, your cover, your semen cover, your semen pin, that gets taken quite often. I don't know why people like to take that, but people like to take that. Speakers, boom, gone. Fishing rods, like, hasn't happened to me yet, but people just take anything on the ship and they run off with it. Kind of sucks, but it happens. So make sure you lock up anything, absolutely anything. Before you go on leave, lock up your rack. I've got too much in there. I've got way too much in there for people to be taking. Number 11, I have explore your environment. So what does that mean? That means that, yes, I live in QS. It's a 3x2 island. Super small. However, we have the golf course I can go to. We have all these new beaches I can find. We have the jumping bridge like 20 minutes away. We have the skydiving 20 minutes away. We have Boondocks about 40 minutes away, which has some of the best food I've ever had. They have the mini golf course up there. You have Marathon, Florida. You have Miami. Just explore your environment. And you'll find that even if you live in a city like QS, like me, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we don't have much to do besides drink. You can always explore your other options. You can explore around. We have bowling. We have the Navy base that has bowling. We have the movie theater, very common area. So those are my like 11 tips that I had for y'all. Like I said, I've been in for 5, coming up on 6 months now. And I just kind of wanted to give my peace of mind to any new sailors out there, or any military members in general. Please let me know, how long have y'all been in service? Are y'all going to boot camp, or what's going on there? I hope you all enjoy the video. I hope you find it helpful. Just kind of take some of these tips that I've given you and try to implement them. But I hope you all have a good day, good night, wherever you are, and good luck.